Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books from Book of the Month Club and beyond. Today is not Tag Tuesday, but I have a tag for you. I missed yesterday. Really should have posted this yesterday, but busy with other stuff, so um, today would be a good day. Get caught up on it. So today I'm going to do the nature book tag. I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat. And this tag was originally created by Tasmin at Tasmin and Well Traveled Books. So I will put links to those two channels below. And it's a bit of a lengthy one, so let's get started on the prompts. Oh, real quick before I do that, you all know Raina. Raina hurt her paw today at the park, and so she's kind of a baby, but it'll be okay. I'm sure it's fine. She just ran quite a bit and was having a good time with the other dogs there. So she's she's here to be my, or I guess I'm here to be her support person during the video. So anyway, first prompt is, what is your favorite book that has a heavy focus on nature? And it can have all genres included. So I'm going to say that would be any of the hiking books that I've read, and I do read quite a bit of hiking books. Um, just some examples: Wild by Cheryl Strayed. That was a big one a few years ago. That was made into a movie. Uh, I like another author by the name of Carrot Quinn. She did Through Hiking Will Break Your Heart. It's a story of her hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. Also, she did a book called The Sunset Route, and that is actually a story about her hopping trains. Quite a daring thing to do, I think, in these modern times. And then there's another author by the name of John Krakauer, Krakauer. He is a big outdoorsman, and he does books about famous events that have happened with hiking and wilderness related things. He did the story of Christopher McCandless, who was the person who was living in a school bus in Alaska and got really sick from eating a particular type of root, and there's so many issues around that story. It's actually quite an interesting story. It was made into a movie as well. That one's called Into the Wild. He has another one called Into Thin Air, which is the story of a climb up Mount Everest that happened in 1996. There was a freak snowstorm, shouldn't say freak because anything can happen up there, but just infrequently occurring mid-May snowstorm. And a lot of hikers got into trouble with that, and just he goes around all the issues of that. So he's a great author. Highly recommend those books. So which book gave you a wake up call, climate or otherwise? So this was kind of more a personal wake up call for me. This is a book that I've mentioned before, and luckily within these past few weeks, I was able to come up with some copies of these two books. I had them in I believe, maybe even I might have started in the late 70s, but I think I actually started reading them probably in the early 80s. And it's a two-book series: A Walk Across America by Peter Jenkins and The Walk West, which is the continuation of his walk. And they're great. The personal wake-up call that these gave me is that I wanted to travel across country. And so that's what I did in a camper. I went with Donna, was not by myself. We went in the mid 80s, and we did end up living out west for, I believe, almost 20 years, about 20 years. So that was a very, very enjoyable experience. We explored all of the West during the time that we lived there, eventually kind of just doing week-long trips or 2-week-long trips, whatever we could tolerate at the time. And yeah, so that gave me the wake-up call to know that that's something I really, really wanted to do. I've never regretted it. Believe me, I missed nothing. And I came back to the East Coast eventually, came back to live in Florida, and now here in Virginia. So, not a problem. Let's see. Your favorite book cover that features nature. Okay, this is another author that I really, really like, and I've read a couple of his books. He's written quite a few. I want to read some others of his. This is Philip Caputo, The Longest Road. This is a story of a trip that he took in a camper. I believe it is that Airstream camper, which is the coolest thing. And he went from Key West all the way up to Alaska. So he took a very long route through the U.S. I enjoyed every minute of it. I love the cover because of the symmetry that there is on that, and the colors and the Airstream. Yeah, I love that cover. He also wrote a book about Vietnam. He is a Vietnam veteran, so he's an older man now. He wrote a book called A Rumor of War, which was an award-winning book about the Vietnam War, which, if you're interested in reading about that, he does an excellent job with. So now, a book that discusses revolution and change. Well, I happen to be reading Bel Canto by Anne Patchett. This is a very recently banned book in Orange County, Florida. Still can't quite figure out why. I don't know. There's not really a revolution in the book, but you get this idea that in the country that they're in, there's a lot of turmoil and things are kind of changing. And basically, some people are kidnapped and held hostage. And the story is really more about their interpersonal relationships and things that kind of happen as they go on during these days of captivity. I found it to start a little bit slow, and I've heard other people say that about it. But I'm going to keep going with it. I've actually read some other things in between and whatever, but still I've somehow managed to make it like 70 something pages in. So I'm going to finish the book out, and we'll see what I think, hopefully by the end of April. But if not, well, you'll see a review of it in May. So not a big deal. Do you read outside? And if yes, where is your favorite spot to do so? Well, of course I read outside. Why wouldn't I read outside? I read on my front porch, mainly right now, because it is a little bit warmer, faces south, so it's a little bit warmer in the wintertime and the cooler weather. I'll probably be moving out towards this section of the house that I'm in now, which is where the back patio is, because that faces north, and so it's a little bit cooler there. So either the front porch or my back patio are my favorite places. Your favorite Indigenous author or book? Okay, that one I've talked about this book before, and I don't see too many people reading it, even though it's a banned book. It's like number, I don't know, 4 or 5, I think, if even that low. Might even be 3. It's on the top 10 easily, and it's called The Absolutely True, I think it's The Absolutely True Diary or Absolutely True Story of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. And I just really, I love that book. I just highly recommend it to everyone. It's great. I listened to the audiobook, and I just thought that was I'm trying to get Raina in the frame here. I just thought that was spectacular. He reads it himself, and just, he's just great. So I loved it. Highly recommend it. And I also like any books by any medical people that have like worked on the Navajo reservation or things like that. Just their insights and yeah, it can be pretty incredible. And I've traveled all throughout there. I lived in New Mexico for a while. So yeah, I know, what they're talking about. Knew obviously a lot of people that were of many different native nations, and yeah, it's very interesting. It's a very different culture, and yeah. So any book like that, I will just I'll eat it up. I love it. A book that takes place or features nature as a character. Okay, this is another good one. I don't know if you've ever come across this book, but it's called Women Who Run with Wolves. Myths, excuse me, myths and stories of the wild woman archetype. And this is by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. I really have a hard time explaining what this book is about. So I just kind of cut and pasted the little, blurb from Goodreads. So let me just read you what the book is about. Within every woman, there lies a powerful force filled with good instincts, passionate creativity, and ageless knowing. She is the wild woman who represents the instinctual nature of women, but she is an endangered species. For though the gifts of wildish nature belong to us at birth, society's attempt to civilize us into rigid roles has muffled the deep, life-giving messages of our own souls. So, yeah, just read it. Just read it. Which book genres do you associate with each of the four elements? And we have air, earth, fire, and water. So, air, I'm going to say travel stories. Earth would be science. Fire, I associate with crime, mystery, thrillers. And water, I'm going to say adventure. So, number 9 is We Are All Connected. Name a book that brought you community, such as a book club, buddy read, etc., or made you think about community. So, I'm going to say that really any of the banned books, and just in general, being in the banned book project. So many of these books are by or about people of color, people in the LGBTQ plus community. I, love to read them because it reminds me that, not everyone is the same. I mean, I love to learn about different cultures. And I also love to see everyone else read them and talk about them on their channels. And, in a lot of cases, even acknowledge, wow, I don't think I would have picked up this book on my own if it weren't for the banned book project. And so that, they end up kind of glad that they did and that they were involved. So I think it's bringing a lot of us together more. Which is, I'm sure, doesn't make the people who are banning them very happy. I think that it's making us more empathetic. I think that it's making us more aware of other people in our environment, in our world. And I think it's all good things. So I would say just all the banned books, it's helping us to read those. It is. So have you ever participated in Climathon, or are you planning to? I've never participated, and I'll tell you in general, when it comes to reading about climate change, I find it very difficult because I love learning about things, and I love science, so it naturally attracts me in so many ways. However, it can kind of make me feel fearful and afraid for our future. And worse yet, you know, really helpless as to know what to do about it. I mean, we all use cloth bags instead of plastic, reduce our use, recycle, yada, 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 all of those things. And altogether, I don't doubt that we can make, some progress with that. But you have companies that just aren't going to do it. You have people, groups of people, strong groups of people, well funded groups of people that are going to refute every bit of science. Um, and I have to agree, it all may not be perfect. Science isn't perfect because nothing is perfect. Uh, but to just out and out refute it without even giving anything a try or anything a strong consideration, it's disappointing. I mean, you still hear people walking around saying, "Well, I don't believe in that," and it's like you can see it. How can you not believe it? So, I don't know. It can be disappointing, and it seems like sometimes it's a study of the worst side of humanity rather than the best. Um, and I feel for you know animals and environments that are threatened. So, all right. Well, that is a nature tag. That is a busy tag. That one made me think a little bit. So, Pat, I appreciate you tagging me on that one, and I'm going to leave that one open. If you if you feel like taking this one on, baby, you go. Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one. It does make you think about things somewhat. So um, I encourage you to take a look. I will put the prompts in my description, and I want to say thank you to you for watching. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate you doing so. I just happened to notice this morning when I opened up my YouTube that I have over 300 subscribers. So I've crossed another landmark. Thanks to all of you, and I really do appreciate it. So leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up, uh, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I post videos, and have yourselves a wonderful, thoughtful, and sustainable day. Take care, everyone.